Samantha from Jessima Tutorials here, and today I am going to show you how to create an easy mosaic effect without all of the hassle surrounding it. Now, I'm going to be using Prima Polymer Clay today, and the colours that I am using are Butter Yellow, Pale Blue and Apricot. And these two colours have been custom mixed, and what I did is I took about this much of each colour and then I mixed in a tiny amount of the butter yellow into both of them just to get them a slightly lighter hue than the base colour, but they're very close. It's not an exact recipe, just mix in a little bit of the butter yellow or whatever your base colour is going to be into these colours. And again, feel free to use whatever colours you want. I've also got some micro circle cutters over here in 3 different sizes. Again, feel free to use whatever shape you want in however many sizes you want. Now, I'm just going to pop these to the side. I will work with those in a moment. And for the moment, I'm just going to grab this and I'll bring over a piece of plain printing paper. You could use greaseproof paper as well. And I'll bring over another one and just give it a burnish, and this is just going to smooth out any bumps that might have been left from rolling it out on the pasta machine or rolling it out with your roller. This is about 1.5 millimeters thick, and then the other colours that I have off to the side are as thin as I can get them, so about 0.5 millimeter thick is what I could get. There we go. And then you're going to want to bring over the cutters that you're going to be using for your earrings. I'm going to be using these little pebble earrings. Again, any earring shape you want will work, so feel free to play around with that. And what I'm going to do is I'm just very lightly going to imprint the clay so that I can see where I'm going to be cutting with my earring. That way I can mould my pattern around it. So again, a very light imprint of those, just so that you can see what you're going to be working with. And then the next step is just going to be to gently burnish these down onto your work surface. I'm using a glass I'm using a glass tile. A glazed ceramic tile would also work. But that's just so that they stick down onto the surface so that they don't stick in these cutters. And then all I'm going to do is I'm going to cut out a couple of sizes from each piece. So I'll cut out about 4 of the large for each. And again, I'm probably not going to use all of them. I just like to cut out more than I need, and then I can work from there. Okay, I'll cut out 6 of the next size, and then I'll probably cut out 8 of the next size down. Right, then lift up your clay and just gently do that, because you don't want to pick up the pieces that you've cut out, and sometimes you're going to have pieces that get stuck. That's why I like to have extra. That's just something that always happens. Yeah, and then those you can just use again in a different project, or you can use it to make more of this one. Completely up to you. Here we go. Put those out of the way. Alright, and then you're going to start designing your piece. And what I have in mind is I'm going to have 2 lines of orange, or I'm going to be alternating between orange lines and blue lines. Let me grab a tool. And I'll just use a piercing pin to help me move those along. And I think I'm going to start with the blue. I'll start with the center. And I'm going to work with the largest size I have first. So pick that up like so, and this is a little bit of residue around the edge, and I'll take that and place that down, and that's as large as I want to get. Then I'm going to move on to the opposite tone, well not opposite but to the other tone that I have. Place that down with a bit of space between each. Then again move on to the next one, and I'm not too worried about keeping them perfectly circular. Place that down, and I am actually going to leave a little bit of space so that I don't use up all of that ecru or butter yellow. And then that's what you would do for the orange, and then I would do the same for the that's what you would do for the blue, and then I would do the same for the orange on the other side. And once you're done, then you're going to grab a piece of paper, lay that over the top, and you're just going to go in a circular motion around each earring, flattening out those pieces and embedding them into the clay. And this is going to end up distorting the shape a bit, so bear that in mind. If you don't want that, what you can do is you can either cut out those pieces, and then before sticking them onto the butter yellow background you can bake them and then apply them to the clay, though that will make the next step quite a bit harder. Or an alternative method is you can actually cut out the butter yellow, remove those circles, and then embed these circles in place and then give it a burnish to flatten everything out. That's another way that you could keep them perfectly circular. But the distortion is part of the effect that I want today, so I am going with that. And I'm just going to do this until I can't feel any more bumps. Okay. And there we go. You should be able to run your finger over and there shouldn't be any more bumps. Then you're going to bring over the same cutters from before, and you're actually going to take them and you're going to cut not the whole way down, but just enough to leave an imprint within that circle. And just take the appropriate size for each. It does not need to be centered, but you're just going to go and leave imprints like so. And then once this has been cut out and baked, I'm going to use paint to highlight that. And you could skip that, you could not highlight it because it's just going to give you a texture then. But you're just going to go over all of them very quickly. Something else that you could do is you could put a few imprints outside of the circles as well. I'm not going to do that because I want to keep them within the circles, but you could do that as well. You could also take a smaller circle and add additional rings. That is another idea. Let me bring over those cutters that I have and let's see how it looks, and then I'll decide if it needs a little bit extra. I actually like the idea of having a smaller circle, so I'll bring this one over and let's see. I am going to apply that, and I'll skip one and apply another one there. Again, make sure you always do the same on the other one because that's the opposite earring. I'm going to leave that one. I'm deciding if I want to apply one there. I won't, I'll apply it. No, I will apply it. Let me grab this. Pop that on the inside. And I'll actually bring over the smaller one, and to finish it off, give this one 3 rings. Alright, and that actually should give it a little bit extra pop. Yes, I do like that. Okay, cool. From there we can now cut our pieces out, and it might stick in the cutter. I don't think it will because I've burnished it onto the paper, so it should be fairly stuck. But if you don't want this sticking in your cutters, you can always burnish it when you're sticking down the mosaics onto your glass or ceramic tile, and then it will stick to that rather than the paper. You will need to sand the backs though. Okay, and just having that lined up, and press, give it a nice firm press. If it's a donut, make sure that you press on that inside donut as well. And then before I lift that up, I will do the same for the other side, and just making sure that I am lining it up the same way, and give that a press too. Okay, and I'm doing that because I want to lift up the clay around the edge of the cutter first. And just hold that so that it doesn't pick up the cutter. Just lift up, there we go. And that can go back in with your butter yellow. And let's see, will it stick? It is going to stick a little bit, I can see that it's going to stick. Alright, so I will move that out of the way. I don't really want to pull it. Okay, I will leave this one. This one I can pop out. I will pop out the middle first because that I'm not too worried about. That I'm not going to be using, so you can just pop that straight out. I actually haven't done that cut as well as I could have. Okay, and then I'll gently poke that out. Just go around the rim, and this is the risk that you take when you cut it on a piece of paper. It saves time when it comes to sanding, but this is the trade-off. And then this one, I need to actually lift it off because it's stuck on the paper in all the wrong places, because of course. And then you just gently work that out of the cutter, and it shouldn't really stick. You could apply cornstarch to the cutter before cutting. I actually forgot to do that, and that could prevent stickage. But there we go, you've got those two pieces. Okay, and there you can see how they look. They look quite nice. I really do like this colour combination. But this is now going to go into the oven for about 40 minutes at Primo's recommended temperature. And once they're baked, we're going to give them a very light sand, though that will happen after I apply paint. So once these are out of the oven, allow them to cool, and then we can move to antiquing them. Then we're going to give them a sand to remove that top layer of paint and to smooth everything out, and then we'll have a pair of earrings. And once they're baked, they should look pretty much like this. And they are going to need a sand, but I'm not going to do that until I have antiqued them, because we're going to need to sand them anyway once we've put the paint on. And I'm going to be using burnt umber paint. You can use black, but I'm going to use this kind of dark brown because I think it will be a little less harsh, and it will also go with the general kind of warm colour palette that we've already got going in the piece. And let me just get that paint moving. There we go. Now just pop a little bit down. I don't need a lot. That should be more than enough. And I'll grab a paintbrush. Grab some of that. And then brush that over the surface, making sure that you get it in all of the nooks and crannies of the piece. And brush the whole piece because this will stain the light colour very slightly, so you want to make sure that the whole piece is consistent in colour. Okay, and then you're going to leave that to dry for probably around 10 minutes, should be more than enough. But basically until the paint has dried, and then we're going to sand it. Alright, and once they're dry, I will sand them with this wet sandpaper. Here's the grit down here, and I've just let that sit in the sink for a little bit just so that it's nice and damp. And and you're then going to just take that and just run that over the surface, and it won't take much to get that paint moving. And you can sand it as much or as little as you want. I'm going to sand it until I've got pretty clean rings around the edge, and so it's going to take a little more than what I've got over here. And then I will sand the back as well. And here is how that looks once I have sanded it and left it to dry. And I haven't actually buffed the surface at all. I'm going to leave it with this matte finish. If you want, you could apply a gloss varnish to it, you could apply resin, or you can leave it plain like this. If you're worried about the paint not being secure, you can pop that into the oven for like 5 minutes to just heat set it, and that should be more than enough. Alright, now I'm just going to turn that over, and I am going to drill a hole, and I'm using a little handheld pin drill for that. And I'm doing it from the back because sometimes it's a little difficult to center it when there is a pattern on the surface. Let me just bring this around. There, you can see that it's off center there. You would have thought that it would need to be right in the center of that circle there, so that's why I drilled it from the back. Then I have a little head pin here with a loop on the end and 2 small copper spacer beads. And my thought process here is that I'll kind of mirror the dots that we've got trailing down here at the top of the piece, and I thought that was a nice little additive. Alright, let me just grab my pliers. There we go. Okay, hold both pieces and trim. Then you're going to grab round nose pliers and you're going to grip that and wrap your loop. And then I'll just make sure that that is centered and both of them are lined up. Okay, and I've got a little jump ring here, and let me put those away, we don't need that. And open up that jump ring. Okay, and this can be a little fiddly, so just bear with me for one moment while I get it through. Here we go, that was easier than usual. Pop our little kind of top piece on, close the jump ring, grab the ear wire, and I'm using antique copper because I thought that would go nicely with the colours that I've got going. And then you just close the top of that ear wire. And that's all there is to it. Nice and simple and effective, I think. And let me bring over the other one, which I have finished. Here's the other one. And yeah, that is pretty much it. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Bear in mind that you can use the techniques shown today with a multitude of different colours and shapes. You don't have to make earrings, you could make a bowl, you could make pendants, all sorts of things, so feel free to play around with it as much as you want. If you have questions, leave them in the comments below and I'll get to them as soon as possible. And if you like the video, consider leaving a like and becoming a member of the channel. There is a join button just below this video. There is also a link to my Patreon account in the description below where you can become a member there. And it's a great way to support the channel. Another good way to support the channel is to check out my Etsy store where I sell things such as the donut cutter that I used and the little micro circles that I used to create the pattern. But yeah, that is just about it. I do hope that you enjoyed, and I will see you in the next video. Bye for now.